This one from PFF.com. One free agent NFL teams can't afford to lose. For the Browns, they say Za'Darius Smith. Smith's 90.1 pass rush grade over the past 2 seasons ranks 7th among edge defenders. 16.6 pressure rate ranks 9th. Getting up there in age, but he really seemed to fit along that line, and especially with Myles Garrett. I know his sack numbers weren't what you want him to be. Unless it breaks the bank, I think they go back and bring him back.
Yeah, interesting to see what he's going to command in the free agent market, because we know he's not going to sign quickly. He's one of those guys that'll marinate, kind of let the market dictate. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I know a lot of people go straight to sacks and they'll be like, well, he underperformed. My man played his role to a T. You know, he was out there being an enforcer on the edge, setting the edge, and pressuring quarterbacks. He fit really well in the locker room too. He was definitely a personality that was a welcome piece to that defensive line room. He definitely felt like a fit to me. But for me, it all comes down to the money. You know, I think that's where it slots for him, because he signed a 1-year deal last year with void on the back end. And if they can get him under something that's comparable, you know, if you're looking at that $8 million range, you know, if you can get him for another season, I think you do that. But I don't think you let that stop you from going and drafting a guy, if he falls to you in the draft, that can eventually be that permanent replacement for Za'Darius Smith.
Yeah, what we have seen is they're two. The way, and tell me if you agree with this, Andrew Berry operates completely different in free agency from the draft. I mean, he drafted Martin Emerson, and he drafted an offensive tackle because he saw them as people that could eventually be starters. And they started a little bit earlier than you thought, but it wasn't like, well, we're going to plug them right in and play them.
Yeah, he doesn't draft for need, he drafts for value. And with an eye down the line, that's what you have to do. You know, and he operates different with the players he trades for, which was what Za'Darius was, you know. So I think that when you look at the avenues which the Browns look to bolster this team, you know, if they see a high-value guy who might not even be in their mind to play right away, they'll pull the trigger on that in the draft just to get him in the room and develop him. And like you said, they might get thrust into duty sooner, but if they can, they'll develop and let him sit a little longer, which was the plan for a guy like Alex Wright. I think he was drafted much in the same mold as Emerson or DeWan. You know, they were looking at a guy who was raw, but they just saw the opportunity and they went ahead and they took it. And now we're seeing it kind of pay off. Alex Wright stepped up in the latter half of the year and proved that he can be a solid rotational piece. But don't rule out the fact that he may be your starter eventually if he just takes another step. But he was a developmental draft pick. And then they went ahead and traded for Za'Darius, a guy who was ready, plug and play right now.